Hello, my lovelies. I have over 100 books that I've read and I'm never going to read again. So it's time to say goodbye. So stay tuned. So as you can see, I am surrounded by a mountain of books. And these are 100 books. Actually, it's probably closer to like 120, 119, something like that. Books that I think I've read all of them, or most of them. There are a couple in here that I haven't read, but I have duplicates, so I'm getting rid of a duplicate. But yeah, most of these are books I've read and I'm not gonna read again. Some of them are even 5-star reads, but I'm just not gonna read them again. And others are, I DNF'd it, I hated it, and it's gotta go. Okay, so I'm going to move these so I have a little bit of room to work with and move you a little bit closer. Okay, so I think I'm going to, ooh, goodness, don't want the stack to fall. I think I'm going to start with this stack here. This is probably going to be the kindest stack because, well, all the books in this stack are ones that I may have read, I may not have read, but they're all duplicates. Maybe I've won multiple giveaways, or I accidentally bought two, or I was gifted more than one, whatever the case may be. These are ones that I don't really have a desire to have multiples, especially of the same edition. So these are all going to go away. So the first one up is Mirrors and Ashes by Kat Bowser. So this is one that I ordered, I think, off of Amazon, maybe Barnes & Noble, I can't exactly remember. And it never arrived, and so they sent me a replacement, and eventually this turned up at like a person down the street around the corner. Somehow they end up getting my mail sometimes, and they ended up with it, and so yeah, I ended up with 2 copies. This is, I think, a Snow White, I believe, retelling. I haven't read it yet. I'm very excited to read it. But yeah, I'm just getting rid of this one because duplicate. Actually, I'm not going to say the thing about duplicates for all of these because literally that's this entire stack. Next up, I have the hardcover of The Land of Stories, A Grim Warning by Chris Colfer. I read the first in this series and absolutely love it, but I do have this particular one on my shelf already, and I want my editions to match because I do love this series that what I've read anyway. So this one's gonna go away. This is one I accidentally ended up buying 2 copies of. I don't know how I did that, but I ended up with 2 copies of The Family Upstairs by Lisa Joel. I ended up with 2 subscription box copies of The Ones We're Meant to Find. I think, I'm not sure which one this is, whether it's the Owl Crate version or from a different box, but I have the signed book plate and the letter from the author. Then I have Ghostly Echoes and Beastly Bones by William Ritter. These are part of the Huckeby series, and I have hardcovers of like the rest of the series, and I think I have hardcovers of at least one of these. So I want everything, I kind of want it all to match, so I'm getting rid of those. Okay, this next one. So I ended up with 4, maybe 5? I think 5 copies of this book. It's ridiculous how many copies of this book. So I ended up with, I think, an ARC, and then and I got that signed, and then I had a paperback, and then I got the hardcover, I think a subscription box, and then I won some other giveaways that had like multiple books in them, and both of those giveaways had the paperback of this book in it. So I ended up with 5. So I kept my ARC, I think, in a paperback and a hardcover of this book because it's a really great book, but I don't need the other 2 paperbacks, so I've got 2 paperbacks of Ray Bear that I am getting rid of. That's by Jordan Fueko. This was another one that I actually won 2 copies of this hardcover for The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. So I only need 1 of them. Then I'm getting rid of the Arc of Voices, The Final Hours of Joan of Arc by David Elliott. I haven't read this, but I have read another one of his books and absolutely freaking loved it. But I was able to find a finished copy of this at Ollie's, so I don't really need the Arc. And this one I have like a really pretty edition of. It's Just Ella by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And I have like the whole series in these really pretty pastel-y colors. So I don't need this one. And then I have the finished copy of These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. So I don't need this art copy. And I think I'm going to give that to a friend of mine. Then I also have the hardcover of Defy the Night by Bridget Kimmer. I had pre-ordered this and I ended up getting it in a box, and so I didn't need both copies. I think this is the one I pre-ordered, and the other one is like signed and stuff, so I don't need this copy. This is my Thrift Books copy of Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. I have another edition. So I think between Ollie's and Book Outlet, I ended up getting 2 copies of this book. One was hardcover, one was paperback, and I actually like how the paperback looks better. And that's Denton Little's Death Date by Lance Rubin. To me, the paperback looks much cuter. Oh, another one of the Chris Colfer books that I had more than one of is Beyond the Kingdoms. And yeah, oh, hello Einstein. Hi. Of course, right between me and the camera. Hi. Oh, your butt's gonna hit the camera. Ooh. And now here's his butt in my lap. Y'all hear I'm going. Okay, then I have a paperback of My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I think I got this copy from my mom, which she got it from somebody else. But then I got the hardcover, and I like the hardcover better. Then I have the Arc of the Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I have a finished copy that I got in a subscription box, so I don't need this. And then Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I think my friend Clint is wanting this one too, so I may be sending that to him. But I have somewhere right around here. Oh, right over here. You can't see them in the screen, or maybe you can. These really pretty matching editions of all the Alice Oseman books. So I really wasn't a fan of this cover, so that one can go away. Okay, now on to the ones that I have read and I'm getting rid of. So, like I said, some of these, there's a wide range. Some of them are books that I've read and I DNF'd and I hated, or that I completely read and I hated, or that was just, they were just okay books. And then there are a couple that are like 4 and 5 stars that I love the books. I'm just not going to read them again. And typically, I'm not going to keep any book that I don't rate 4 stars or higher, unless it's part of a series that I really enjoy the series. So yeah, any of my 3-star books that are fine, that I like, but I'm just not going to read again, they're also in here. Hi, Einstein. You're my big baby, my big furry baby. Hi. Okay, excuse me, sir. I need to film. Excuse me. Can you find a place to sit? Hi. Place? Go place. Hey, Marty. Oh. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Einstein. Oh, okay. And he's in my lap. Okay, so the first one, I don't even know how well you're gonna see these books with them right here. The first one I have here is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. I think this is the first book in a middle grade series. This is cute. It was good. I enjoyed it. I can't remember exactly what I rated it. I want to say it was probably in the 3 range, but yeah. Then I have Eventide by Sarah Goodman. This, I think, was a subscription box. I barely remember anything about this book. I mean, I do remember I read it, but I couldn't tell you anything at all about it. And so I'm going to say this was probably also in like the 3 range. Then I have May by Jon Huckeby. This is a graphic novel, and I think I gave this 2 stars. I read it and I was just kind of like, why did I just read this? Like, I wasn't a fan at all. So yeah. Next up is This Darkness Mine by Minnie McGinnis. I think I gave this either 4 or 5 stars when I read it. I do remember it's very twisted. Very, very twisted. Like, gets a bit gruesome. But I did enjoy it. I don't, however, see myself reading it again. Okay, this next one, it was kind of hard for me to get rid of just because I like the author a lot. But this book was just not it for me, and that is Mira Tidebreaker by Daniel Page. This is a graphic novel, and I don't know. I think I never really connected with the whole like Mira and Aquaman and all of that. So I don't know. This was okay for me. It wasn't bad, but it was just meh. And then I have another graphic novel. This one is In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. And this was another that I was like, it was okay. I want to say it was like 2.5 or 3 stars. I can't remember exactly. Not terrible, but just meh. Okay, next up is Thriller. It's an anthology edited by James Patterson. It's by several different authors. I DNF'd this one, not because it was bad per se, but it just wasn't my kind of stories like the ones that I was reading, and I just didn't feel compelled to continue trying to read the stories. So I just DNF'd this one. Next up is Kisses and Curses. This is 15 authors, 14 stories, one fierce collection. Honestly, I don't remember too much as far as the stories in this go. This was one that got rated in like the 3 range. So when I was looking at things on Goodreads on how I rated them and stuff like that, this was in the 3 range. So it was time to say goodbye. I need to make room. Next up, I have The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman. I remember when I read this, but I don't really remember too much about it. And I think this was also in that 3 range. Then we have The Witch of Willow Hall. Again, this was fine. I think it was in the 3 range as well. The Apprentice Witch by James Nichol, middle grade. It was really, really cute. I did very much enjoy this. I want to say this was like high 3s, maybe even a 4, but I'm thinking like high 3s. But it's not one I'm going to read again. Next is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I think I actually have this one signed, maybe. Yeah, it is actually signed. But even though this was I think it was either a 4 or 5 star read for me, just trying to be like brutal with the things on my shelf. Like, am I going to read this? If I've read it, do I really think that I'm going to read it again? And this is not one that I think I would read again. This is one that I would recommend out, and I had it on a shelf of books that I was like loaning people, but I need to make room, so this one is going to go. Next up is The Oceanography of the Moon by Wendy Vandera. This was one of my Once Upon a Book Club boxes. This is probably my least favorite that I've read out of my Once Upon a Book Club boxes. I think I gave this one 2 stars. It was, I wasn't a fan. It was weird for me. Then I have 12 Days of Book Clubmas, Volume 4 by Once Upon a Book Club. This is from their little Advent thing. You know, I read it, opened the gifts. This is not one I'll end up reading ever again, so. Then I have Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Sinner. I think, yeah, this was an ARC I won as like a giveaway a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I want to say this was in the 3 range, maybe 4. Like I said, it's been a couple of years, but I remember the story, but I'm probably not going to read it again. So I got rid of a lot of the other Lisa Gardner books in a separate unhaul. But these two are ones that I had actually read that are part of the series that I unhauled. And they were fine. They were in the 3-star range again, but I'm not gonna read them again. And I ended up unhauling the rest of the series because I'm just not that interested. We have Alone and Hide. And then I have the Fifth Wave series. So I have the Fifth Wave, the Infinite Sea, and the Last Star. I read the Fifth Wave. It was fine. It was like in the 3-star range. But I found myself not drawn at all to continuing. So yeah. Then I have The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano. I think this one was also in the 3-star range, and I do believe it's the first book in a series, and I was kind of interested in continuing, but not enough. So yeah, this one was going. So this next one is probably one that I will be sending my friend Clint as well, because I think he would really like it. I bought this one thinking it was going to be a different size. You might have seen the vlog a while back, like it's been a while, when I first unboxed this, and I had to laugh because it was huge and I wasn't expecting that. So as a lot of you probably know, I've been reading all of the Rick Riordan books. And so I have like hardcovers of most of them. And when we were reading the Percy Jackson books, we got to Greek Gods. And that's one I didn't have a physical copy of. So I ordered a hardcover of it to match the hardcovers that I had. Little did I know that the hardcovers for that particular book are not like the other hardcovers. They're massive. They're not like this size. This is the size of like the regular hardcovers for the Rick Riordan books, and then this thing showed up. And so to get the size that's like this, I needed to get the paperback, but I didn't realize that. And so I'd rather have the paperback so it would actually fit with my books. This doesn't fit. It's just too big. Okay, next up I have Blood Roses by Francesca Leah Block. I can't remember if this was like a, this might have been a DNF even. I think it was. I think this was a DNF. So this probably got like 1 or 2 stars, but I'm not certain. It's been a minute. So it could have possibly even been something that was like in the 3-star range. I don't remember. Then I have Lessons in Seduction by Sarah Bennett. This is very much not my kind of book. I did end up reading it like a long time ago, and I think I gave it in the 3-star range, and it's been on my shelf, but I'm like, I don't need this on my shelf. I'm not going to continue this series. This is like Regency romance, and that is just not my thing at all. Then I have Greta Thunberg, No One is Too Small to Make a Difference. I think this was like 2.5, 3 stars. This was definitely on the low end of the 3-star range. It's sort of a collection of speeches about climate control, and honestly, I think it could have been just one speech. It was like almost the same speech over and over again with just a couple little things changed in each, but it was so repetitive. Like literally just one of those speeches would have been fine in here. Then I have The House of Thunder by Dean Koontz. I have so many Dean Koontz books, and I don't need to keep all of them. I don't even remember anything about this one, because all of his, for the most part, a lot of his get kind of mixed up and muddled in my head because I have so many of them, except for certain ones. This was one that fell in that 3-star range, so to make room, it's gotta go. Then I read The Sweet Spot by Heather Hayford. This is a cute kind of adult contemporary fall in love with the small town vineyard boy kind of thing, and it was cute. I really enjoyed it. I want to say I gave it like 3.5 stars, but I'm not gonna read it again. Okay, this next one I gave 1 star. I hated it. I hated it. It was okay. I didn't finish it. I DNF'd it. I hated it so much. It was so aggravating to try to read. And you know, this is a very polarizing book. Like, people either absolutely love it, and I know a few people like Kayla from Books and Lala absolutely loves this, and there are a lot of people that absolutely hate this book, and I fall in that range. I hated it. And that is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I hated it so much. I hated how it's written. Like, can you see this? Like, oh, everything about this book irritated me. And I paid way too much money for this book to hate it so much. Okay, I'm better now. Okay, next is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. For me, this, I know a lot of people absolutely love this book. I know Allie from Hardback Horror, she loves this book. I think Kayla from Books and Lala love this book. I didn't hate it. It was just okay for me. It was like middle of the range, 3.5 stars. Next I have Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. These are super cute YA contemporary. I very much enjoyed them. They were probably all in the 3 to even 4-star range, but I'm not gonna read them again. Then I have What Big Teeth by Rose Sabo, and I can't remember if this was like 2 stars or 3. This one was, it was weird. It was definitely weird. I want to say I was probably closer to 2 stars. It's sort of a Little Red Riding Hood twist, where the girl is also the wolf. There's a lot of weird that goes on in this book that some of it just doesn't even make sense. So I think that one was like a 2. This next book is one that I very much enjoyed. I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe even 5, probably 4 though. It took so much brain power to read this book because there's a lot. But that is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Really good book. Really, really good. Definitely need the brain power to read this. And I don't think I'm going to read it again. I very much enjoyed it, but I know what's going to happen. It's one of those things that I'm not... I think there are very few like mystery thriller type books that I would read again knowing what's going on. There are some that I'm just like, they blew my mind kind of thing, that I would be willing to read again, and I would definitely want to like recommend to everybody. But this is not one I would want to read again just because I know it's gonna happen. Okay, this next trilogy, super cute middle grade, very much enjoyed it. And I would have kept it. I think they were all around the 4-ish stars, but I need to make room, and I just don't think I'm gonna read it again. And that is Love, Sugar, Magic by Anna Mariano. So I have Love, Sugar, Magic, A Dash of Trouble, A Sprinkle of Spirits, and A Mixture of Mischief. They're super cute, but yeah. And then this one I bought like on a whim when I happened to see it. I think in McKay's, and it was literally just because of the name. And it's Melanie in Manhattan by Carol Weston. Cute little middle grade, but it kind of gave me like Eloise vibes. But yeah, I'm just not gonna read it again. Then we have another graphic novel. This one is DC Superhero Girls at Metropolis High. It was okay. Then we have The Project by Courtney Summers, and this one I was just meh on. Like, I have loved a couple other books by Courtney Summers, but this one just, it just didn't do it for me. I want to say I gave it like low 3 stars. Next up is You and Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes. I really enjoyed these. Like, I know some people are not the biggest fan, but I very much enjoyed them. I very much enjoyed watching the show as well, but I don't think I'm going to read them again. That's just the gist of it. I don't think I'm going to read them again. I definitely recommend it because it's one of those books that makes you really like the bad guy. Like, he's a creepy, stalkery, murdery bad guy, but you like him. It's weird. Next up is this little trilogy. Here we have Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend, Revenge, Ice Cream, and Other Things Best Served Cold, and Hearts, Fingers, and Other Things to Cross by Katie Finn. This is a cute YA revenge type thing. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Probably gave it like high 3 stars, maybe low 4 stars, but yeah. Then I have The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House by Audre Lorde. This is a small collection of essays. I DNF'd this. I really didn't like it. It felt very pretentious, and it felt like it was written in a way that almost makes the reader feel like they're stupid if they don't understand everything in here. And it's just, I don't know. I think it was overwritten, if that's a thing. Then we have Tiny Dancer. This is another graphic novel. This is by Sienna Cherson Siegel and Mark Siegel. It is sort of an autobiography graphic novel. I enjoyed it okay. It was the story of a dancer who gets injured and then kind of has to figure out life from there. I want to say this was in the 3-star range as well. Next I have Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and the Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson. I had this one. Kaylani was going to get rid of this one, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't have the first book, so she gave this to me. I got like 106 pages in, something like that, and I was bored. I was so bored, and there was just nothing that really happened. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to read it. Might as well get rid of this too. Next up is Help for the Haunted by John Searles. This was good. I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars maybe. But it's another like mystery thriller type thing that, you know, rereading it, I know exactly what's going to happen. There's not going to be anything that's going to surprise me or anything like that. And it wasn't one that I was just like, oh my god, I love this book, this is my new favorite thriller. No, it was fine. Okay, we are down to the final stack here. So next up is this teeny tiny book. It is Consumed: The Need for Collective Change, Colonialism, Climate Change, and Consumerism by Aja Barber. And this is literally like maybe the equivalent of a page out of a book. There's only 16 pages here, and it's like they took one random page out of this book and split it up so that it was like this, and just a tiny bit on each page. And I thought this was completely pointless. Okay, next up is The K by Theodore Taylor. This is probably one that Xander's going to want to keep. As far as being on my shelves, I'm unhauling it off of my shelves. Though I did give this 5 stars. It is really good. It's very short. This is also one of Xander's favorite books. He will recommend this to anybody and everybody. And I will say, it did make me cry. But it's not one I'll read again. Then we have 15 Minutes of Flame, a Nantucket Candlemaker Mystery by Kristen Breacher. cute, cozy mystery. Probably 3.5 stars. That's it. Then we have the Ruby Red Trilogy box set by Kirsten Geyer. There's Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. I know people absolutely like are die-hard fans of this trilogy. It was fine for me. It was all in the 3.5 stars range. I did read the whole thing, but I'm not gonna read it again. Actually, there's a couple here that some of these little books here I have read, and others I have not. I've just decided I'm not really all that interested. They're like kid versions of Shakespeare. So we have As You Like It. It's a Shakespeare story by Andrew Matthews and Tony Ross. And I'll show you. They look like this. They're not bad, but they're super, super condensed. So yeah, we got that one. The Tempest, The Merchant of Venice, Othello, Julius Caesar, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Looks like I got these all from Ollie's for like $1.99. Next is Monster by Walter Dean Myers. This was like a 4 or 5 star book for me as well. It was really good. It's written in like a screenplay, but also written in like journal entries and things like that. It's really, really good. Very moving. It's about a boy who is sent to jail for, I think, murder. Yeah, he's on trial for murder, and he's 16 years old. And it's the only way he's able to really cope with everything that's going on is having it like a screenplay. And so the trial and everything's done like a screenplay. This one's great. I'm not going to read it again, though. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. Like, if you took a shot every time I said, I'm not going to read it again, you'd be passed out by now. Okay, next up is another one that people are, like, obsessed with and they love. And for me, it was just okay. And that is the Tea Dragon Society and the Tea Dragon Festival. I got the Tea Dragon Festival as an ARC. I can't remember where, but yeah, these they were cute. They were good. Would I ever read them again? No. To me, they were very. I think they were a little too childish. Like, I don't know. I say that, but I love middle grade. So, and I don't know. I didn't think they were as amazing as everybody else. Then I have Sky Song by Abby Elphinstone. I want to say this was probably around 3 stars as well. Middle grade. It was fine. This is one that really surprised me. It hurt a little. And that's Willow. This is by Mariko Tamaki, Nacha Bustos, and Eleonora Brunei. This is, I thought this was like continuing on, oh gosh, Einstein. I thought this was like continuing on the story and stuff, and it really isn't. It's, well, it is, but it's not. It's from like this new revamped series, and I didn't like how it is. I just didn't. It's based on this new Buffy that's like set now and not. Excuse me, sir. Anyway, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan, and it made me sad. And I can't set anything down because there's an Einstein right here. Right here. Oh, good Lord. Knock everything down. Oh, Lord, help me. Goofy dog. Don't eat the books. Okay. There is me, the dog, the books, and then the camera. Okay, next up is The Sandman. Don't eat the books. The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. I have determined I am not a Neil Gaiman fan at all. Like, we just don't vibe. I tried to read this, did not like it. I think I gave that 1 star. Then I have The Great American Whatever by Tim Federle. I was really excited for this. It was queer. I thought it was gonna be fun and it's gonna give me like 80s, 90s vibes. No, I didn't like it. I ended up giving it 2 stars, I think, or maybe 1. Yeah. And when I told my friend Clint about the things in it that I didn't like, they had bought it because of the things I'd said when I first received it and was reading about it and everything. But then when I read it and I told him the stuff going on in here, he's like, oh no. And they actually unhauled it without even reading it. Next is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I actually bought this from another booktuber because she was getting rid of it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I am keeping The Hunger Games because The Hunger Games is like a trilogy that I would actually reread. This I didn't think was really necessary. It was an interesting piece, I guess, so the past. But yeah, just reading it once is fine. Then I have another 12 Days of Book Club mess. Again, once I read it and opened the gifts, I don't really need it again. And then this next book, I know a lot of people, when I even said something about I was getting rid of this book, they were all like, oh, because everybody loves it. And I'm not saying that I don't love it. This was a 5-star book for me. I very much enjoyed it. I cried when I read it. I loved it. But I'm not gonna read it again. And if I'm not gonna read it again, I need to get it off my shelf. That is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Next up, I have Unearthly Divine by Tabby Newcomb. This was sent to me by the author. I actually became friends with this author. I don't remember what I rated this book. I want to say it was like 2.5, 3 stars, something like that. It was okay. I actually have a note in here. It says, not a fan of the love triangle, mood swings, or so much of the, oh my god, he's so hot. But I really did enjoy the storyline. So yeah, there's that. But I don't see myself reading it again, and yeah. But it was neat, you know, that it's somebody I know. Next is Meeting and Thresholds by Nina Kariki Hoffman. So this book, oh my goodness, Einstein's right behind the camera, like flailing a toy about. Hopefully he doesn't knock over the camera. Anyway, this seemed like it was written to be a trilogy, and a 3rd book never happened. And so it ends in a way that kind of leaves you feeling unfulfilled. I very much enjoyed this. I liked it a lot, but I didn't like how I was left in the end. Next up is Pride by Ibi Zavoy. I did enjoy this. I want to say it was like 3.5, maybe even 4 stars. I actually like this one more than Pride and Prejudice. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling set, I think, in Harlem, I believe. Afro-Latino characters. It's really good. Like I said, I like it better than Pride and Prejudice. I'm not a fan of Pride and Prejudice. But I'm not gonna read it again. I should just stop saying that. But it's hard because that's how I feel about so many of these books. Like this next one. Like a Love Story by Abdi Neisman. Enjoyed it. Not really much to say about it. It's queer. I think this might be one that I'm sending to my friend Clint as well. I can't remember if this was one he wanted or not. But yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed it. That's it. Trying not to say, but we're not going to read it again. But I just did. Okay, next up is, this was another one that was hard for me. Like, I pre-ordered this book. I was so excited. This is one of our season-a-thon books. And I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I have this author's other books. Like, one of her other books is one of my favorite books, but it was just okay. And that is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. Beautiful book, amazing author, and it was just an okay story for me. Then we've got No One's Home by D.M. Pulley. This was another Once Upon a Book Club box books. This is a mystery thriller type story. And again, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to read it again. Sorry. I can't stop myself from saying it. I'm trying. Next up we have Kenny and the Dragon by Tony Dederlizzi. This is a cute little middle grade. It's actually signed and personalized for Xander, and he even drew a dragon in here. So this might be one that gets unhauled to Xander if he wants it, but I'm unhauling it off of my shelf. But it is very, very cute. Next up is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. Another one that was in the 3.5 range. That's all I'm gonna say. It's fine. Then we have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This is a signed copy. This is probably one of my least favorite John Green books. To me, it's okay. It wasn't fabulous. I have very much enjoyed other John Green books. Just this one, meh. Then we have A Brunch at Bittersweet Cafe by Carla Laureano. I actually did read the entire trilogy or series or whatever that went along with this. There are Christian fiction romance books. Now, they're cute. I enjoyed them. But yeah. This dog. Okay, next up is Queen Solomon by Tamara Faith Berger. I hated this book so much. This was a 1-star. It was gross in not like a gory type way. It was gross in, it's like, it seems almost like it's told from a teenage boy's perspective, and it talks about like how, you know, him getting off to this exchange student girl that's in his house. It's just nasty and vulgar, and there was a lot of ugh in it. So yeah. Next is Push by Sapphire. This is really, really good. It's very disturbing. It's about an illiterate 16-year-old girl, and it's very graphic in the things that happen to her. And yeah, I pretty much remember everything in the story very vividly, and I think because of that I'm probably not gonna ever read it again. Though I have watched the movie as well. I forget, I think it's called Precious is the name of the movie. Oh yeah. And then there's Things I Can't Explain by Mitchell Kriegman. This is, it's from, for those that know the show Clarissa Explains It All from when I was a kid. I loved that show, and this was Clarissa Darling all grown up. This was a lot of fun. I thought it was super cute. But, you know, that thing I'm trying not to say, that's it. Then we have Acid by Emma Pass. Again, this one was fine. Then I have this cute little graphic novel. It's, I think, middle grade. Oh, he's got a bone now. This is The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid by Kirk Scroggs. It was cute. 3.5 star range. Then we have The Light That Gets Lost by Natasha Carthew. This was another 1-star. Oh my gosh. Then we have The Light That Gets Lost by Natasha Carthew. This was another 1-star read for me. I really just did not. I couldn't stand reading this book. I tried. I don't even remember how far I got, but I got a good bit of the way through, and it was like nothing really was happening, and the dialect in it I didn't like, and I really just did not enjoy that. And then the last book out of all of these books is another one that I enjoyed just fine. There is a sequel to it. I probably won't read the sequel. I'm not interested enough. But I did enjoy the book, and that is Darius the Great Is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. And it's about a Muslim boy who, his family goes to Iran, and it's one of those, like, he wasn't American enough for America, but he's not Iraqi enough, I guess, for Iraq. And he struggles fitting in, plus he's queer, and that's definitely frowned upon as well. And it's about friendship and family, and it's a really good story. And I want to say I gave it like 3.5, 3.75. But yeah, that's it. That's everything in these 100+ books that I am never gonna read again. As I repeatedly said throughout. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.